Hello and welcome to Home Inspector M.D. Here in Canada, there is always a possibility of a power outage in the winter. If you live in a major city, it's not too bad. You can be down without power for several hours, and that's it. But once you go beyond major cities, a power outage in the winter can last not just hours, but days or even weeks, depending on the location. Down power lines from winter storms require workers to come out to the area and fix them, and that takes time. Even more time if you live in a more remote area. Many people today are working from home, so having power for computers and lights is critical just to earn a living. The loss of power can also result in your food going bad, the basement flooding without a working sump pump, critical medical equipment not working, and of course, no stove for cooking. The lack of power can be very dangerous. We lose the ability to cool our house in the summer, but more importantly, heat your home in the cold winters. In fact, did you know that on average around the world, more people die from excessive cold rather than excessive heat? This brings us to the topic of this video, backup power for the home. To be clear, we're not talking about standby generator systems such as Generac. These are all-in-one systems that cost thousands of dollars, but they are not for everyone. Our focus today is on people who already have a generator and want to use that generator as a safe but simple backup solution in case the power goes down. The key word here is safe. Unfortunately, there have been incidents where people have used generators unwisely. Simply put, you don't run a gas power generator indoors. A normal house has a main service entrance electrical panel that is powered by your utility company from a nearby transformer. Now, in order to create a backup system, we connect a generator panel to our system. The generator panel is used with a generator to provide safe backup power by switching the power source to the house from your utility company to your generator. Unlike the more expensive all-in-one systems that will automatically turn on if you lose power, here you must switch over to the generator manually. Now, we're also not talking about backing up every single circuit in the house. We just want to back up the critical loads in case of an emergency. That includes refrigeration, a sump pump, the HVAC system, a stove, some lights, if you have medical equipment, and computers. The generator panel is like a sub-panel in that it adds more available circuits to your home. But now, this new panel will be the only place for your critical loads. The electrician may have to relocate those critical load breakers that were in the main panel to the generator panel. Also, this generator panel can have up to 18 spaces for breakers. But if you don't need that much, other companies make smaller versions with as little as 8 spaces. What you notice is that a generator panel looks like a regular electrical panel, with one major exception, the two 3-pole breakers that are on top. Those two breakers are the switching mechanism to transfer power from the utility to the generator. One of the 3-pole breakers will be connected to your main panel in a way similar to a sub-panel. You use a double pole feeder breaker in the main panel to connect to one of the 3-pole breakers in the generator panel. And for 99% of the time, you will have power from the utility feeding the 3-pole breaker that is switched to the on position. The other 3-pole breaker will be in the off position and is attached to your backup power source. In this case, a generator. Let's take a closer look and see what is called a mechanical interlock attached between the two breakers. The whole purpose of an interlock is to ensure only one breaker can be on at any time. This one has a dial with a notch to allow one breaker to be on, but the other breaker is prevented from switching on. To switch to generator mode, you turn the breaker that is on to the off position, rotate the dial 180 degrees, then turn the breaker for the generator on. It's that simple to transfer power from the utility to the generator. Now, there are different types of interlocks depending on the manufacturer. Here we have a Siemens generator panel with their version of a mechanical interlock. So what is the purpose of a mechanical interlock? Well, it's a safety device. You don't want to receive power from the generator and also from your utility company at the same time. This can result in unintentionally backfeeding power back onto the grid, a potentially dangerous situation. Once power is restored, then you also don't want power going to your generator. Now, you may ask, how do you connect the generator to the generator panel? You simply install a generator inlet box to the side of the house that is easily accessible. This way, if the power goes off, you just move your portable generator next to the house and plug it into the inlet box. The inlet box is hardwired to one of the generator panel's 3-pole breakers. Manually switch the breakers using the interlock, and you're up and running again with power to your critical loads. You can install different manufacturers for the generator panel and your main panel. So you can use this square D generator panel on a Siemens panel if you want. But there are advantages to having the same brand. You only have to worry about one brand of breakers to buy. You may need to move some breakers from the main panel to the generator panel. So then you don't need to buy extra breakers, therefore saving you some money. Also, in an emergency, you can take breakers between the generator and the main panel. And finally, one note about generator panels in Canada. If you come across a 2-pole generator panel, which there are still some out there and being sold, these should be avoided. The reason is there are 2 types of generators, neutral bonded to the frame and neutral floating. A neutral bond to the frame prevents a system where the neutral is bonded to ground in 2 locations, at the main panel and the generator. In a 3-pole breaker generator panel, you are switching 2 hot conductors and the neutral conductor when you transfer power. So power is only coming from one source at a time. The neutral is bonded at only one location. Since most of the generators sold today are neutral bonded to the frame, they will require a 3-pole breaker generator panel. The 2-pole generator panels do not switch the neutrals. So if you connect them to a bonded neutral generator, that would be a code violation. 2-pole generator panels only work with neutral floating generators. Thank you for watching our video on generator panels. If you find the information here useful, please subscribe and give a thumbs up. And think about us for your next home inspection.